Hi guys, so today we're going to be working with the ASP Quick Dip Kit, and this is an all-inclusive kit to do your nails as an alternative to going to the salon or something like that. So there's a picture of everything that's in the box, and then they give you a little pictorial here on the side. You open the little window and you can see what you have in there. I'm going to go ahead and open this and go over the items one by one. I did do a review on a Kiss kit, which was very similar to this. I will link that down below if you want to look at a different brand. I also already did the ASP Lightless kit, which I will also have down below for you. So if you want to check out that kit, you can also do that. And it's a lightless gel kit as opposed to using powder. So here's the Quick Dip powder. You have your spray here, and this is to cure it. The glue or resin or whatever it is, and then it comes with a little spray. You just add that on there. It has your brush on glue, white tips, glue for the tips, and then it comes with a little emery board, and then you have your instructions here. And in the instructions it also gives you a little pictorial. I'll go ahead and read through this and set everything up, and then I'll meet you guys right back. Now before you start applying your tips, you want to make sure that you clean your nail plate so you remove any dust, debris, and old skin. If you need more directions on how to do that, on how to properly prepare the nail plate, there is a video down below on nail prep for acrylic / gel nails. And again, that's all in the description box. All you need to do is watch that if you have any more questions. But basically in the directions, all it says is to wash your hands, remove the shine, and make sure that you clean the entire nail plate, but they don't give a lot of detailed instructions. So like I said, if you need more on that, you can go to the description box. So I'm going to be going through their directions step by step, and I'm going to be kind of troubleshooting as we go through anything that I think you should do additional or change a little bit and kind of tweak the directions. That way this lasts longer for you. You can of course do as you prefer and just follow the directions like they have in there. Of course, that's completely up to you. So first thing is they want you to put on your nail tips. You're going to go ahead and size those out. So as you're doing this, you want to make sure that you're not having to press the nail tip down really hard to make it fit. You want it to fit side to side, and you want it to do that easily, so there's not going to be a gap on either side of that when you place it. So here's the glue that they give you. You do have to snip the tip of this one. There is no hole on there. So I just have a pair of scissors here. I'm just going to go ahead and snip that open. So now if the nail tip is a little bit big, you can go in with a file and adjust it according to the size that you need. This particular one, I don't need to do that. So you're going to go ahead and fill up the well of the nail. And what I do is I like to put a drop in the center, and then I like to kind of scoot it out with the tip of the glue. You're going to start by placing that at a 45-degree angle and just press it down. And you're going to go ahead and hold that with some pressure until you feel like that's dried well. You can also go in on the sides and kind of give it a pinch just to make sure it's going to be held well there. And if there's any excess, you can just go ahead and wipe that away. So I'm going to go ahead and move on and do that with all of the nails, and then I'll meet you right back. Once you've got your tips on, go ahead and go through and trim those back to the desired length. I'm using nail clippers made for artificial nails, but you can use a regular fingernail clipper. That would work as well, or a pair of scissors. Whatever you have will work. So I'm just going to trim these back, and then I'll meet you guys back as soon as I've done that. So once you've got that trim back, you want to go ahead and do a rough shaping. So for me, I like my sides a little bit rounded. And then just go in and straighten up what you need to. It doesn't have to be perfect at this point. You just want to get a rough shape down. So one thing that's not in the directions is I like to rough up the plastic tip a little bit. Now this isn't on your natural nails, and all I'm doing is removing the shiny part. I'm not gouging into it. And this is just going to allow the product to stick a little bit better. And again, this does not have to be perfect. You're just doing this real quick, because at the end you're going to do your final shaping. Go ahead and use some rubbing alcohol just to remove all of that dust. Okay, for these next steps you're going to be needing your Quick Dip powder, which looks like this. I'm going to go ahead and open that and set it off to the side. So it does have a seal on it. You want to go ahead and remove that. You're also going to be needing your brush on glue, which looks like this. And you're also going to need your Quick Dip Cure. And I went ahead and applied that spray nozzle. I'm going to go ahead and prime that just to make sure it's ready to spray. Okay, so I have that ready and off to the side. So a couple other steps that weren't included in this that I would suggest doing is getting yourself a nail primer and dehydrator. This happens to be by the brand Tones, but you do not need this brand. It can be any brand. You can pick that up at Sally's as well. So what this is going to do is it's going to set your pH balance of your nail plate to a neutral pH, which ensures that everything is going to stick really well on your nail plate. The dehydrator also gets rid of any oils, that kind of thing, as well as the alcohol does a similar thing. So again, this is not included in the directions, but it is something that I would recommend, and I would do this with any nail enhancement or nail extension, whether it be gel, acrylic, quick dip, lightless gel, any of those, just to ensure that everything is going to last. So you're going to go in with your dehydrator first, and I'm going to go ahead and be demonstrating on my pointer finger today. So you're just going to take your dehydrator. You don't need to do it on the tip of the nail, you're just going to be doing that on your natural nail plate, and you want to avoid your skin. And then I'm going to be going in with the primer. This is an acid-free primer, but again, you can use whichever primer you prefer. And again, you just want to get that area. You don't need to do the entire thing. So I'm just going to give that a few seconds to kind of dry up. Now, as far as the instructions, here's what they tell you to do after you've prepared the nail, you've gotten on the tips, and you've already got your tips to the length that you want. The next thing that we're going to do is we're going to apply our brush-on glue. We're going to dip into the actual powder, and then we take our brush-on glue after that and we kind of tap down on that powder to make it clear so that we don't get any of the cloudy bits that we got in the Kiss. Now, they did not tell us to do this in the Kiss one that I reviewed, so that's one thing that's already different. So we're going to go ahead and do that. Now, just like with any other application, you want to make sure that you avoid your cuticle area, you don't touch your side walls, and you cover the entire nail. So we're using our glue here. I'm just going to start at the back and pull forward, making sure to touch every part that I want powder to be on. And then I'm going to go ahead and dip that in. Give that a quick little shake off. And then in the directions they say not to go in a brushing motion, but to just tap down with the body of the brush to get that translucent. And you're going to repeat this process and dip it in again. And again, you're going to use the body of the brush to just kind of tap down and get that area wet again, as opposed to brushing. Now, I will say by tapping, it's a little bit harder to get a clean, crisp edge. So I went ahead and did the powder step 3 times. It does not tell you in the directions how many times to do it. Now for the last one, what you're going to do is you're going to get that wet the same way that you did before. But this time you're going to spray it with this. And you want to be a little bit away from that. Go ahead and give that a good spray. Let that dry, and then they tell you to go ahead and go in with your brush-on glue again and spray one more time. And this time you're going to do actual strokes. And this is going to give you a more smooth application. And now we're ready to move on to the next nail. So I'm going to go ahead and repeat this process with all the nails, and then I'll meet you guys back. Once that's had a chance to dry, go ahead and go in and you want to do all of your shaping. You want to make sure that you file, shape, and buff so that the surface is nice and smooth. Okay, so here's the final look. I went ahead, washed my hands, and put on some cuticle oil. I am going to be painting over these, which is why I used the natural tips as opposed to the white tips that came in the package. You can interchange tips whatever you want. Like I said, I just used the natural because I am going to be doing other reviews while I have this set on. Also, if you don't want this ridge to show here, you would just file that a little bit so that it blends in better. Again, that's up to you, but since I'm polishing over it, I really don't care about that. So for me, what it comes down with this set, did it give me an easy to follow instructions? Was I able to get a full set with what they gave me in the package in the end? So the answer for me is yes, there was plenty in there to do this set, plus at least probably another 2 with what they gave you. The only thing I will say is that the brush on this does get a little bit gummy, so you kind of have to work around that, but you could use your own brush, you know, if you had a gel brush or another kind of throwaway brush that would work. I did end up switching to this, which is just an older brush that I had, because that one got pretty gummy. So the instructions in this kit I do like better. They're a little more informative than the Lightless Gel kit, even though they're from the same company. And the other one is that this gives you instructions for removal as well as maintenance, so doing your fills. So that's something that's nice with this one. You can also do fills and continue to wear your set thereafter. So I'm going to run through each component of the kit and let you know what I think. So the first is the nail glue. It worked great, no problems. It wasn't a quick drying one, but just holding it a little bit and it worked fine. I didn't have any lifting, so that's good. The nail tips are your standard nail tips. They're the exact same tips that came in the Lightless Gel kit, and I have used them before. They work fine, nothing wrong with them. The next one is the brush-on glue. There's plenty of glue in there to do your set and to do other sets or to do fills. The only thing, like I said before, was the brush itself does get a little gummy, but you can still work with it. Absolutely no problem with that. The quick dip powder, they give you more than enough powder, so if you open that, there's still tons in there. You can repurchase just this at Sally's and you still have your quick dip powder to continue to do that. They also give you this spray here, which is the cure spray for the glue, this stuff here. And again, they give you a bunch. It's a pretty good size. It's not as big as the gel cure. So here's the gel cure that came in the Lightless kit. And then here's this one. So it is a little bit smaller, but you don't need as much because you're not spraying in between each application, just twice at the end. So at this point, I could choose to put in a top coat and I would be done with my nails, or I can do, like I said, I'm going to be painting my nails and then do it that way. You could also just leave it, if you did the white tips, just put on a top coat after that and you would have yourself a standard French manicure. Overall, I think this is a really good kit. It was pretty inexpensive. I know I paid under $20 for it at Sally's. You can also pick this up online at sallysbeauty.com. I'll have the link down below, and you can also find it in store. They also have different coupons going on at different times and different sales, so you can always catch it on sale. Overall, I'm happy with the kit. I think it was a good little kit. I did have to file at the end just to make sure everything was nice and smooth, and that's the other thing you might want to invest in, is just a better file and then maybe some sanding buffers. I use sponge buffers, but you could use like the little polar blocks. And then I use the brand Sand Turtle and Fine and Extra Fine. That's just personal preference. The only thing I will say that I didn't really like about the kit was the little emery board that they give you, because it sheds. The little black bits come off, and then if you're filing, that can get into your nail design. So I don't know if you can see it there on my nail, but the little pieces of like sand or whatever it is comes off. You can pick up a file pretty much anywhere, fairly inexpensive. Same thing with the buffers, like I said. The only other thing I would suggest that wasn't included in the kit would be your dehydrator and primer. And this is just going to ensure that you have long wearing nails, you know, that it's going to last the entire time without getting lifting. And as always, this is an optional step. You do not have to do this. It's not recommended in the actual instructions. It's just something that I personally would recommend. And I would do, like I said, with anything, gel, acrylic, whatever. So just like with the lightless gel kit and the Kiss kit, I will update you guys in the description box with how long it wore, how well it came off, you know, did I have to soak it for any extra time, that kind of stuff. And if you guys have any questions, go ahead and leave them down below and I'll try to answer them to the best of my ability. And as always, thank you guys for watching.